So today's video is about finding your core. Core has become a very popular word in the fitness industry and also in the health and advertising world because it basically refers to your tummy muscles, and at the end of the day everybody wants a flat tummy, so by doing core exercises it should help to give you a flat tummy. The problem is it's doing them correctly is the key to any core exercise. We often use the wrong muscles and think we're doing the right, but at the end of the day it can probably be doing some more harm than good. So by just going through what we're going to go through today should help you understand a little bit more about core and hopefully help you keep your technique correct while doing the exercises. So what is your core? Well, basically within the body, if you think of layers of muscles, we have the superficial muscles that move bones, so when you lift the weight you tend to use your big muscles, the ones you can actually see under your skin. They're called your mobilizing muscles. Underneath those muscles are another set of muscles which focus on supporting your body, supporting your joints, maintaining good posture, and that really is your core. So a lot of people think of core as just being in the tummy, but I like to think of core as running all the way up through your body, from the inside of the foot, so the arch of the foot, picking that arch up and coming up through the inside of the legs, all the way up through the centre of the tummy and right through the top of the head. So even just by lifting the head up through the back, we're using our core. So maintaining good posture. The problem is when we try and do core exercises, we tend to use our big muscles too much. So the key to good core exercise is to be able to relax your big muscles and focus in on the muscles that sit deep in your body, which is difficult because we tend to favour our big muscles. We're used to using them and we don't really know how to engage our deep muscles. So doing core exercises requires a lot of thought. It's not something you can do quickly. You need to be very focused. Just by sitting on the fitball isn't going to use your core. You need to actually think about engaging your core. So today I want to go through engaging your core and the correct way to do it, and you can practice it, but it takes a long time because the thing is to get your deep muscles to fire and your big muscles to relax. That's the hardest bit to start with, and you don't really know if you're doing it right. There are a few tests that we can do, but it's difficult to actually know until you feel it. I think once you feel it, then you know when you've got it. So this is what we call neutral spine position, and this is basically the safest position for your spine to be in. So when we have neutral, all the curves in the spine are not too severe. So if you were lying flat on your back, you'd be able to just get your hand under your lower back here, and these bones here, the pelvis, are level. Okay, and all these things here, these are your discs. So if you've got neutral spine, all these discs are at a nice height. Okay, quite often you see nowadays quite a big curvature in the lower back, which puts compression, okay, on the edge of the disc here, and can lead to a slip disc like this. You also see quite a lot of people where the upper spine is quite curved again. So again, it'll put pressure through the wrong part of the disc and also through these little joints here, the facet joints. Okay, so neutral spine is what we're trying to maintain, and the more your life you can spend in this position, the more healthy your spine is going to be. So your core muscles are there to maintain this position, but your mobilizing muscles tend to get tight and out of balance and tend to pull your body out of this position. Okay, so by addressing that and strengthening up your core, you should be able to maintain a neutral spine, no matter if we're lying on the back like this position or if we're standing. So basically core stability would involve us keeping this position while we move the arms and the legs. So if we're moving the legs and the pelvis is moving too much, or your back is pushing too much, that's not stability. Okay, so when we're doing core stability exercises, we're looking for your stomach muscles to work, to support this and this, so this stays nice and stable while your legs move. Okay, so now I'd like to look at engaging your core tummy muscles, and if you get this right, this is probably the best tummy exercise you can possibly do, and the great thing is you can do it all day, wherever you are, so it's really worth learning to do properly. They used to teach engaging your core by bringing your belly button in towards your spine, okay, which is fairly simplistic, and when we do that, we tend to overuse the top muscles too much. The way I teach it more is from the pelvic floor muscles, and then if you get your pelvic floor engaging correctly, your deep core tummy muscles should automatically engage anyway. If it doesn't, then it probably will after a while, or you might just need to think about bringing your tummy in a little bit anyway. But to think about the pelvic floor sits low in your pelvis. Okay, so what we're actually trying to do is draw up through those muscles. Okay, so you might have heard this before, but we call them A, B, C. So when you engage A, basically you're thinking about stopping yourself going for a wee. And then B is much more of a pulling up action. A is very much to the front, B is behind that, and you're pulling up between the legs. Okay, it's really important, that one. And C is stopping yourself past wind. Okay, which is quite amusing, but if you can just think about doing those muscles individually to start with, there's definitely a different action to each muscle. Okay, and just try and do it gently and slowly, especially the drawing up. Okay, and when you do that, you should also start to feel your belly button just coming in towards your spine a little bit. Okay, which is your deep tummy muscle, which is what we're after. But just try and keep those muscles engaged. Okay, there's a big difference between doing that and just breathing in. That's not what we're trying to do here. Your ribs shouldn't move, your tummy shouldn't move. Nothing should look a lot different, to be honest. You should just be able to get A, B, and C lightly engaged and be able to hold them there, be able to breathe normally, be able to talk normally. Because in the ideal world, we want to keep these muscles engaged a long time. So if you do it too difficult, too much effort, then they're going to tire. So we talk about 30% maximum contraction. A good way to find that is if you just try and find those muscles, draw them up, engage it, and keep engaging, keep engaging, keep engaging, keep pulling up, keep pulling up, keep pulling up, and then you find everything tightens up to 100%, and then try and stay engaged, but just try and reduce it to 50, and then just let it off a little bit more. Okay, so there's lots of visualizations out there that people use for this, with lifts and zips. Okay, different things work for different people, but that's where we need to start. So when you're doing your core exercises, try to get those muscles engaged before you begin your exercise. Okay, so that's a little insight there into core muscles and core stability, and a little bit about the spine and what it's all about. So in my next video, I'll actually be looking at some exercises you can do in the gym or at home for your core, which will be great for obviously helping you get your flat tummy and also supporting your lower back. So in the meantime, just try and find those ABC muscles. I'm doing it now, and while you're engaging, try and keep talking, try and keep breathing, and good luck.